So today is the day we are back, and behind me, you might be wondering, what is this? What is behind you, Chosen? Hey, today, we're getting into Botania. Botania, and this magical picture that you see behind me isn't just a picture. It's reality. And all it takes is for me to step on this elevator. And we go down, which is directly underneath. Notice the green windows. This is leading to the Botania room. This will be decorated a bit more later on, but the Botania room is one more below her. And right here is where we are going to start our Botania journey today. And keep in mind, this grass, it may be dull. It's going to be changing very, very soon. So what do we need to get started with Botania? In this mod pack, things are a little bit different, but getting started is all the same. The first thing we really want to make is a Lexica Botania. This is going to tell us everything we need to know about Botania. If you don't know anything about it, you can usually hover over an item. If it's in a Botania book, you can hit Control and it will take you directly to that page where that item is talked about. Really, really handy if you don't know anything about this mod, which, believe me, a lot of people really don't, because this is a pretty in-depth mod. Everything has a use, so there's a lot to know. But getting started is pretty simple. We need to make this stuff, or you can, you can wander around and hopefully come across a flower. The best way to find a flower is to make this floral fertilizer, and all it is literally bone meal, which we should have plenty of, right? Bone meal and bone meal. So you take regular bone meal, and we need 4 of these, I believe. Is it 4 or is it 3? It's 4. So we need regular bone meal turned into white dye. This has been made so much easier since Minecraft is updated. And then we just need bone meal. So bone meal with bone meal equals all of the materials we need. So I should be able to make a whole stack, just like that, of floral fertilizer. And we get to spread these all around. So you just right click them. And my hope is that by doing this, I literally unlock every single flower type. And we're going to find out if we've done that here in a minute after I've gotten all these placed down. Because I'm just going to go ahead and spam all of them. Should be able to make a flower bag. So there is a pouch in here, unless it's expensive. Let's see. The flower pouch. It does require one of these, so let's just break one of the flowers, and then we can turn it into a petal, and we'll just go ahead and make the flower bag. This needs to stay on me, because while I'm breaking these, it should go into the flower bag instead of my inventory, and the good part about the flower bag is I can right-click and actually see if I have every type of flower. So after cleaning all that up, as you can see, I have several of these flowers, and the next fun part is going to be setting up petal duplication. So with Botania, these petals can be easily duplicated. And so all we need is shears, bone meal, and that's it. Now, of course, coming up with automation for this after this point, that is where the fun happens. But you can place down a petal, bone meal, it becomes a double tall petal or double tall flower. You shear it, you get the double tall variant, and you quadruple the amount that you have. So we went from 1 to 4, and then you rinse and repeat. So how do you go about automating it? Well, it actually includes a pretty simple method. All we got to do is place the petal down, which we should be able to do with a dispenser, and then we use another dispenser to auto shear potentially. If we can't use it to auto shear, then we will just do it manually. And I don't mind doing it manually, but if you take 2 of these together like this, and I'm probably going to do it manually, and you set it up like this, you have one that has bone meal, the other one you put the petals in, and then all you have to do is you can create like a pressure plate that'll toggle this on, and a little bit of redstone and repeaters, and we're good, or timers, and we're good. I think we can use this with RF tools. So I just have some simple redstone that I'm using right here. So I have a pressure plate, 2 dispensers. Of course, I'll put the petal that I want in here, and then the bone meal that I want in here. And down here is super, super simple. We have a pressure plate, so when I stand there, it will activate the timer so we don't have it clicking constantly. And yeah, very simple. We have the redstone torches on each side with the redstone dust under there. That way I can keep it nice and closed. And then we definitely want to set this to pretty low, as fast as it'll go. Like, just set it to 1. This is going to make it go as fast as it can possibly go. And make sure you also have this toggled, pause while redstone's active, and that's how we are getting it to stay like that. And then when I press on the pressure plate, it should go. Might be too fast. Make it like 5. You gotta find the sweet spot for it to go. Let's see. Let's do, I mean, we can do 5. We'll see how that works. Yeah, 5. 5 is a pretty good pace. And there we go. So now they're both going. They work just fine. And all we gotta do is just stand here with our shears and not break the glass. Oops. And then pick up our flowers and repeat. And I might put like some obsidian right there. So now that I have all of my petals worked out, and believe me, I definitely went through and duplicated as many petals. I say duplicated, but I made as many petals as I felt like I needed, and ended up using quite a bit of bone meal in the process. But I want to go ahead and set up automation for the petal apothecary. And this is going to be really, really simple since we have item routers and we have an infinite water bucket. It's as simple as placing down an item router, making sure that this is defined as up, and make sure it's set to right click item in buffer, possibly on nearby block. And then we place that in there, put our infinite water bucket in there. Nothing's going to happen until I put the petal apothecary on top and it auto fills with water. Normally this process is a bit more tedious, but it's super, super simple now that we have that. And this is going to really come in handy because all I'm going to have to do is place, like, have a dropper or just have a bunch of seeds on top. And if we want to mass produce any type of flower, all we have to do is just right click, so long as we have the petals in our hand, and the seeds will automatically process it. And we just continue to hit right click. It's going to be pretty neat. And the first flower that I'm definitely going to want to make is going to be one of the white ones. And that white flower is going to be the one that is actually on my head. Believe it or not, that's pure daisy. And the pure daisy is super simple to make. So all we have to do is make this. It's going to require a perfect benatite or larimar. But yeah, really, really simple to make this. And this right here is going to be honestly the first demonstration of how easy this is. So I just need to drop this in, and then 4 of these, and then a seed. And as you can see, it automatically filled up, and it says right click with an empty hand. So to do that, I'm going to actually dump all the seeds and then just right click. And this is how you can get tons of stuff quickly, so long as this is auto feeding water, because normally it'd be a bit more difficult. Yep. And that's it. I wanted 8 of them. So there we go. So now we have 8 of these. And this is what we're going to use to transform some materials. So I'm going to split this up like so. And I made this many because it's just going to help having a few more than normal. Let's go ahead and split this up. So I'm going to end up needing stone and logs. So plenty of stone and logs of really any type. It doesn't really matter. Spruce works. And you just lay the logs out just like this. And it should be pretty easy for us because we can just vein mine all of this. So just spread it all around them, and we're going to get living wood and living rock from this. And just like this, yep, they're all going to be converted into blocks. And we're going to need every single one of these because living wood is going to be used for making the mana distributors, or the mana. Here I am. It's been a little bit since I played with Botania, mana spreaders. And then we're going to use living rock for the pools. And luckily, we can just vein mine all this. That makes it so much easier. Now, I'm trying to think, is there going to be a good way for me to semi-automate this? So yeah, when it comes to automation, I think I found a really cool block. So this is gauges and switches, and it will allow me to automate this. So I have dispensers. Dispensers place blocks. So if I give this a redstone signal, it will place a block on top. The cool thing is I can hit these buttons here and I can say, hey, is this stone? And if it's stone, emit a redstone signal like it's doing. The cool thing is it doesn't detect living rock as a stone. So because of this, I can use this to automate it by having a signal when it is stone. Same with the wood. It works the same way with the wood. I tested it. And this means that when it does convert, I can have some means of breaking this. And I think I could probably just use, let's see, what would be a good thing to use? Probably the cork rods for now, because that's probably the best breaker that I have. And then just have a bunch of pistons, just break it, and then have it collected, have all the blocks collected with modular routers. This could work. I gotta set up some sort of prototype. So after spending quite a bit of time, I have figured it out. I have, I believe, covered just about everything. And let's take a look at how I'm going about automating the production. As you can see right here, give it a second, and it's going to place, and then this is going to pick up the items, and then we're going to have that go where we want it to go. So let's get the living wood, which is exactly the same. The back of this has to be set to wood logs, which I have it set right now. And yes, you do program this from the back. Everything else you can leave as it is, including the redstone signal, which that redstone signal, as you can see, is down here, but it actually emits redstone on all sides. So if we go down to the bottom, there is the block, and it sends a redstone signal here. All of these are set to pause while redstone's active, set to 20 ticks, which are ticking the dispensers, which is really handy. And then if we close this up, all you have to do is just maneuver a redstone. And so I'm going to need redstone. I'm going to need a timer right there. And I'm also going to need a repeater just to sort of delay the signal, because the timer emits a tick that's too fast. And so what we'll end up getting is, if I pop up here, we're going to need our redstone signal laddering up. Just like that, ladder, and then we will set a timer right here, and then we will use a repeater. Now the timer here needs to be set. I'm going to set it to 60, but it doesn't need too much. But it does need to be paused while redstone's active. That's how this whole thing is going to work. And then I'll just set the max delay on there. And now what should happen is, so long as these have material in them, let me get out of here and I'll fix all this later. So long as these have some logs in them, should give it time, hopefully, to fill all of these up. That's the goal anyways. Down here, let's make sure this is all the same. Should give it time. Make sure this works. And then once we have the flour, let me go ahead and break all of these logs real quick. There we go. And it placed every log except for this one, because I don't have logs in there. So let's go ahead and place the logs in. I'm just using regular oak logs. Place the logs. It should click. There we go. And they're all ready to go. All we have to do is put our pure daisy in. Just like this. I made extras because, you know, technically later on I'll probably end up using them. Let's go ahead and break in here. There we go. I place it like that. And so at the moment, because the wood is there, it's sending a redstone signal. So it is sending a redstone signal right now, as you can see. And then up here, if I can get up here, let's do some blocks. Up here with this paused, right now with it receiving a redstone signal, when it's unpaused, then the timer will activate, which means these are ready to harvest, just like that. And then it will have a slight delay, break them, collect them, and then distribute them. I need to put some speed upgrades and then clean this up. And this is looking mighty fine. And look at that beautiful thing. Yes, this is now my automated, well, if I pull some stuff out, my automated living rock and living wood. Now, once it is empty, it should do the same thing and leave this open. Whenever this is gone, this will still toggle every now and then. So I'll know when it's empty when this is toggling down every few seconds, which means I just need to refill my stone. And once it's all refilled and ready to go, it's ready to break. It's ready to be reset up. Eventually, I might have this set up on some sort of automation, but this is far from the only automation that is going to go on today. So now that we have the automation all up and running, it's been running for a little while, got plenty of blocks, which is super amazing. It's time to really dive into Botania. So we are going to need a mana pool. That is like one of the first things we need. Looks like we need a little bit of beniatite. We'll use that and some living rock. So bam, mana pool. Fairly simple, right? Mana pool, and then I'm also going to need a mana spreader. So a mana spreader is going to be a block of gold. It looks like another thing of beniatite. I'm just going to make a few of those. Probably going to need several. Mana spreader is how we're going to get mana into our mana pool. And then we need a way to direct the mana pool. So we're going to need a wand of the forest. And this is, again, as you can see, going to require a few things. But it's going to require that living wood. So 3 of those. And here's the fun part. We can sort of decorate it if we really wanted to. I'm going to leave mine white, but you can change the colors of the points. So with this, we can see information about our mana pool. We can also see our mana spreader. There's all kinds of fun stuff that's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and just right now, make sure this is set, shift right click, and then shift right click here to link these two together. And we now have our mana spreader linked. Now, if you shift right click, you're going to see there's a function mode and a bind mode. Make sure you're on bind mode to be able to get this to link. And we're almost done. Right, so we need to get a way to we need a way to generate mana. And there is a way to generate mana relatively quickly. But keep in mind that your mana spreader is going to come at a cost for your mana spreader. So first things first, let's go ahead and make, I don't know, 4 mana spreaders for right now. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna, or actually I should have made 3, but I'm going to set them just like this for right now. Go ahead and make sure they're all linked. And this is going to help us generate a lot of mana relatively quickly. And we need some flowers that generate mana. And I'm going to go with Indoflames. I know, I do know, it's just super common. Indoflames work, but there's actually several that you can use early on. One of them being the, not mystical flower, where's it at? Let's get to the functioning stuff. The Rose Arcana. So you can't make it right away, but you can make it once you get some mana. The Rose Arcana is going to use experience. First thing we're going to go for, though, is Indoflames. It requires brown, light gray, and red. So we need to remember those. Brown, light gray, and red. And so if we have those in our inventory, this should be enough to make 32 Indoflames. And then all we need is seeds, which we have tons of. And because we have this whole setup basically automated, it's 2 brown, 1, and 1. That's an Indoflame. We complete it like that. And remember, we can just drop this in now and just hold right click. And this is just going to keep generating Indoflames for us. So now that I have my 32 Indoflames, I'm going to place 6 behind each one of these because 6 is about the total that it can accept. If you wanted to double the rate of this, you can use an overgrowth seed. You place it on the ground below and it'll actually double the rate. So really, if you had overgrowth seeds under these, you could have 3 instead of, 6. And 3 would be fully able to supply this mana spreader. But for right now, this is just simple, quick, dirty. As you can see, bam, we're ready to go. And now what do we have to do? Well, we're going to have to supply this with some coal. And luckily, I have tons of charcoal. And we are going to talk about how I am going to automate charcoal. Let's throw a stack on there. Actually, instead of doing this, it's probably best if we make blocks of charcoal. I'm pretty sure this will use blocks of charcoal. Throw that down there. Give it a moment. And yes, it will use it. And as you can see, some of them actually use it over here as well. But we just want to fuel these up for a little while just to generate us a nice amount of mana before we can get this fully automated. So now that I have a little bit of mana built up, I can make the one item that is going to be incredibly lucrative. 2 of these mana pearls and Botania magnet. That's right. Ah, it's so nice. We're going to be able to make this. So I just need a lens. Believe it or not, I do have some mana steel that I have found in chests. You find them just as you play the pack. We'll make this. And then the ring of magnetization. It just requires what? A regular old-fashioned magnet. This is going to be a thing of the past. And then looks like we probably need some iron. I don't think I have that much mana steel. So get a couple of those and voila, magnets. Bam. Now the magnet does need a little bit of something. We still need a mana tablet, but I'm not going to keep it a mana tablet, but this is what we need. So a mana tablet, and that allows us to get the mana out, but I want to turn this into a ring of mana. I think. It doesn't really matter too much. Oh, I threw those out. We do have 2 ring slots, so I have to keep that in mind. We'll end up having 1 for mana and so on. So there's the ring of mana. And what we can do is I can take the mana out of here by shift clicking and then tossing the ring in. And then what that's going to do is it's going to slowly drain out the mana and fill my ring. And then we'll be able to use the ring of magnetization. Oh, it's so exciting. So I've come up with a clever solution for automating the Endo Flames. So I've gone ahead and made the mana splitter, got all of the mana spreaders set up. I have 8 mana spreaders. This is usually the typical amount that I go with. But we need to get a way to have charcoal that we have automatically processing, which I want to talk about that here in a second. But we need to get it to item routers. I'm going to be using the modular routers to easily automate this. Probably one of the simplest ways that you can go about automating all of the Botania stuff. But let's take a look at how I'm going about getting the coal. So I'm going to be using just a simple small electrical furnace. If we need to do 2, it's going to be as simple as me just adding another one over here. Notice the wires are low, and that's for good reason. When this tree grows, it could potentially chop into some cabling, and that's why these have to be super low. But other than that, this is collecting the wood goes in here, and then the wood gets turned into charcoal from our tree farm. Quite plain and simple. Now, what I got to do is I have to get the pipes all the way down there. We've got a lot of piping to do. So all we have to do for this pipe is set up a few different modules. So I have a high extraction module, which the higher the extraction module, I recommend going with the highest because it's super cheap, prevents oversending of items. And that is really nice. You don't want items spitting out of your pipes. So having a higher tier is going to fix that. As you can see, already it is sending the charcoal, which is what we want. And I also want to make sure it goes faster and a round robin on here. So we should be good. This is going to go. And like I said, that's going to be sending that pretty fast down the pipe, even without it being pressurized. But we do want to get a few things set up. Now that we have them going to our routers, they should end up heading to the buffers. The first one probably is going to be random in where it went. As you can see, it went here. But what we're going to want to do is we need to get some modules set up. So I think I have a module already installed in one of them. This one. So the dropper module, simple, just I have it going up. It's going to throw the item up, but we need the redstone mode set to low on all of these. And the reason we're going to have it set to low is because we want it to only be activated when it's not being pressed down by a pressure plate. And so to automate this, it is quite as simple as literally placing a pressure plate on top. And as you can see right there, those items are being spit out. And all it takes is one to be placed. And that's it. And it'll stay there. And once these flowers end up consuming this, then you know we'll be good. We might need to make 2 sets of these. We'll see, because one is actually pretty slow, unless it was blocks. Blocks make this fully automated, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So with everything set up, including a little bit of an interesting way, I decided to go ahead and create a buffer so I can put the items in. But what ends up happening is this is collecting my charcoal instead. So I have to go ahead and put a filter on this. And I believe I can say blacklist. and I can just blacklist this one item, and it shouldn't pick up this item anymore. Let's see. Let's test. If I toss this on the ground, nope, no longer picks it up. So great. This ends up going right where I want it. Perfect. So with that out of the way, I should have a pretty clean setup moving forward. Let's take a look at this. So this is pumping this out, just going into conveyor belt straight into this. The same setup is here with a round robin. And notice there's nothing coming through the pipe. That is because we haven't turned this whole thing on. All I gotta do is give this some Indo flames. First, I'm gonna clean this up with some grass. By the way, we are about to change this grass. This grass is gonna look fantastic here in a moment. But yeah, all I gotta do is just clean this up. All of this underground. Not too much over here I have to worry about. I'm gonna leave this for right now. Maybe give it a little grass. There we go. And place down our Indo flames. And we're ready to go. Look at that. It already triggered. Now, what could speed this up is us putting speed upgrades in here. And that actually might be able to easily keep up. The only problem is our redstone pressure plate. That might be the only issue in speed. So, Indo flames. All right. And I may not have enough Indo flames. We need 6 per. So the best way to kind of do this is to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I do this? 6. Hopefully this can reach. As you can see, it may take a minute for all of them to get caught up. And same on this side. And by the way, they should automatically detect the proper, they should automatically detect which one they're linked to. You'll be able to see it by clicking here. And you can see which one they're linked to by clicking on them. So notice that's ready to go. And they're all linked to the proper one, whichever one they're closest to. So look at this. And with all this mana flowing, I want to get myself some mana glass. Because I want to place mana glass basically all around this. And this bottom is actually going to be a mana battery. Oops, that I have plain set up. Oh my gosh, I literally just destroyed that mana pool. And it looks like it just straight up yeeted it out of existence. Oh no, it's right here. Whoops, ignore that I did that. Be careful, by the way. Also, this puts off light. So it is going to make this nice and bright. Yeah, this under area is going to look really cool once we're done. But yeah, it's keeping up. I'm actually happy with this. The mana is actually keeping up. It's keeping the Indo flames nice and lit, which is all you can ever hope for. And keeping our mana distribution perfect, right where it's at. You don't want to see this bar overfill, and you also don't want to see it completely empty. So, like I said, 6 is perfect for each one of these. And we should start seeing mana really building up. Just gonna grab a few things here. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. And we're gonna use this to create some awesome grass. So we'll just toss a few of these in here and get ourselves some pasture seeds. And there's a bunch of different uses for these pasture seeds. We can use them to make floating flowers, which are really handy. And we can also make different colored grass. So this is infused pasture seeds, which gives you like blue. There's also like a dark kind of purple nethery side. There's a very dull, which is like the color we have. And there's also a really, really dark green. But I should be able to use this said pasture seed to hopefully make myself some nice looking grass. I think I'm going to try out the Vivid. So by placing one down, it's going to spread and turn into this really rich green grass, which I kind of like. You know what? I might like a mixture of grasses. You know, no, I'm going to stick with one. We've got to lay this out. Place it here, here. You know, we'll get this growing. It'll eventually spread out, and look how cool. Almost like carpet. That is a really deep green. So one last thing, I can't end without setting this one last thing up. And that is, well, we got to drop a root in here. 1 blue flower, 1 red flower, and 2 brown. And then all your magnets belong to us. This flower right here will prevent my magnet from picking these up when equipped. I do not want to be picking stuff up in here. So I made this flower. Now, how can I use this flower? It's probably gonna be best if I turn it into a floating flower. And to do that, we can probably grab one of these and we use the seeds, the pasture seeds. So let's see, we need grass. This right here. So yeah, just a pasture seed, and we can actually make ourselves floating flowers quite easily, actually. So this right here, we just need this. It also needs to be glimmering. So yeah, I love how we actually just have that flower laying around. So there we go. We have a floating flower, and then we can combine the functional flower with the floating flower, and we get a floating version of it. And how nice of it. And we can just pop it right there. And now when we equip our magnets, it should not work in this area. As you can see, it's not picking up any of this. Ah, so nice. So, did you learn something today? I hope you did, and definitely moving forward, things are going to get very spicy. Now that we have Botania unlocked, there's so many utilities that we're going to learn about next episode. Now that I have this, we're going to be progressing, and hopefully, we can actually complete the part of Botania and get to the second tier, which sort of unlocks the portal and allows us to have mana flowing and unlock some of the higher tier items. But as of right now, we're going to have to stick with what we have. Like I said, next episode, be sure to click that subscribe button so you can be notified when I publish the next video, which well, should be tomorrow. And also, there should be a live stream, so that'll be kind of fun as well. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Of course, guys, I do want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And that, my friends, is going to be a huge shout out and thank you to Knurr. Yes, that's right. Thank you for supporting the channel and becoming a Discord premium member, and not just any Discord premium member. That's right, a Discord Diamond premium member, going above and beyond to show that amazing support. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and supporting the videos that I make. It really does go a long way, honestly, guys. And I would love for all of you guys to join the Discord as well. And if you would, all you gotta do is go to discord.gg/ChosenArchitect and come hang out with me over on Discord. I literally chill all the time. You really would be surprised. I really do. And anyways, guys, also check out my merch site, of course, ChosenArchitect.store, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, have a good one. Bye.